Okay, brother Yusef, you can come.
I've seen the leaves waving at me. Sometimes I wave back. Have you seen the leaves waving at you? Wave back and see what happens. Maybe I should wave first to assure them that I am a friend. Of course, these friendships only last through the summer. They end in the fall. Each following summer, our waving begins again. Sometimes I wonder if I shall see my old friends again. Well, of course, I miss them very much because like, for example, John Coltrane, I met him in 1949, and we were friends up until his demise. 2 weeks before he died, he came to my house. I lived in Teaneck, New Jersey, and I introduced him to a realtor because he wanted to buy a house close to New York, in Teaneck, so he could open a club, not a club, but a with no alcohol, and have tea and sandwiches, and where children could come and play. And that day, I was getting ready to go to England to play Ronnie Scott's. And he met the realtor, and she took him around. He found a place in Teaneck because he lived way out on Long Island. It's a couple of hours from New York. And I didn't know that he was ill. But afterwards, I had the premonition, because we went into my kitchen and I fixed him some hot chocolate. It was called Pretty Quick. Like you mix it with milk and you have a chocolate drink. And he picked up the can and he said, "Pretty quick." You know, I didn't think anything. So I left for England the next day. And about maybe after a week in England, I picked up the morning paper and he had died, you know. I joined Dizzy in San Francisco. And for about a week, I'd be playing the music, and I'd come to the end of a phrase, and the saxophones were still playing. But there was nothing else written for me. You know, if it was 4 beats, I played the 4 beats and I stopped. And no one said anything to me. And I would look over at the first alto player, because I was used to following the lead saxophonist. And John Brown, he would look at me under his eyes. He wouldn't look directly. He knew I was wondering what was happening. Finally, I figured it out. Maybe in the second week, I found out what was happening. And what it was, they were following Dizzy Gillespie's movements. He'd be standing in front of the band. And if he would take his right elbow and do it like this, at the end of a phrase, they would keep holding the note. And if he went up like this, they would be going up with it. So they would be playing da. But you can't write that, but it was articulated. And that's why that band was so unique. It had such a inventive, personal, futuristic way of playing music. So I remember that from this Gillespie band.
I mean, you can have incredibly high density and have it like density is not a problem. You can live in the village, which is
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. It's so
It's
important.
great, but then you can go to out to that city, where the bar belongs.
The beating while we live is constant, that bleeding flesh within the chest. How long will it continue? A heart stops, another starts. It beats and bleeds within the chest. It whispers. It speaks the truth. Listen. The soul, sometimes staggering under life's challenge, is straining every unseen fiber. Then, desires and fears are seen no longer. The soul is but a stillness somewhere in space. The heart speaks to the soul. Listen to this internal dialogue. See with the eyes of the heart. Listen when it speaks, for the heart is born pure. You know, sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long ways from home, a long ways from home, a long ways from home. A long ways, a long ways, a long ways from home. Spiritual relationships are between the individual and the Godhead. We're not blessed with spiritual qualities because we want them, or we have a PhD, or we have $5 billion. You can't buy it. It's a gift. And we can only hope and pray for it. And when it does come, it's in order to be grateful. And I think many of those people that we remember, it's for that quality that was within their presentations from time to time. You know, like Lester Young, they call him the soul player. They had, things came through their music that touched the heart and the spirit. And that's why they're remembered. And many musicians have given much thought to how do I bring this about? How can I express deep feelings of the heart? And I suppose the only thing one can do is remain pragmatic about it and search for this quality or hope for it. When it happens, you can hear it because you feel it, if it happens. One should be able to hear these qualities. One should, I believe, should be able to hear love in their own voice when they speak to someone else. One should be able to hear the love and compassion in their mother's voice. That's a good place to hear compassion, is between the mother and the son, the sounds of the voice. What I feel about myself, I feel there's the unknown, there's things I don't know, and that's what I'm striving for. So to say that I know would not be true, because there are things I don't know, and I'm trying to find out what they are. And they come little by little. Existence is an eternal trip. Like this life is only from here to here. And then beyond death, there's another life which continues eternally. I believe that the state of paradise can begin within this life and then continue into unknown, unfathomable realities in the next life. That's what's so fascinating about life. There's so many wonderful things to understand with our mind, with our eyes, and our ears. Yeah. So this is a wonderful part of existence, this life itself. Chububo, chubadooby, dee-bot, chububi. You hear the silence now? Chibubadooba-dip, dip, chububi, chudubip, chiba. Dee-da-da-da-da, doo-ba-da-do-dee-ba-lee, chidooba-dooba-dooby, doo-ba-da-do-dee-ba-lee. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-bee, doo-ba-da-do-dee-ba-lee. One day we're gonna leave. One day we're gonna leave here. Hi-yay, hi-yay. Hangezi umodi, Hi-yay, go-wee. And when we go, don't go, don't go with sorrow. Hey, hey, yo, diddle, diddle, Hattie say day, deal, hido that, hey, hey, did, hey, he, that, he, lo, that, he, we, that. One day, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave here one day, one night, one afternoon, one time, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Hit it, hit it, Hungary. Don't leave with sorrow. Ding gang ding, ding gong eddie. Oh yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. During those days of, some people call it the new music, what really was happening is each musician was trying to find their own voice. I think that's what those guys were telling us. Find your way to express it. Don't play like me, and find your way to do it. And a lot of people got that message. It was so ubiquitous that musicians like Dexter Gordon, Gene Ammons, Sonny Stitt, that when you were in their environment, they didn't talk much. It seemed to be the order of the day was to think how you're going to present yourself. So there was a lot of silence verbally, and musicians were thinking about how could they hone their skills, non-bias, etc. And if you, Ben Webster, if you notice those people we remember, they all sounded individualistic, Stan Getz, etc. So that's what tradition of this, of autophysio psychic music, is to find your own voice. And there's nothing better than the old truism that I've heard about when Lester Young took Coleman Hawkins' place with the Fletcher Henderson band. Lester Young didn't play like Coleman Hawkins. Coleman Hawkins left the States and went to Europe. And some of the people in the band wanted him to play like Coleman Hawkins. This is what I hear. So one morning, Fletcher Henderson's wife went down to Lester Young's room with some records of Coleman Hawkins and say, see this? She suggested that he play like this. And the reporters, Lester said, say, that's not me, you know. I'm me, you know. So that's what the music is about, finding your own voice. And it's not easy. It's easier to get a record and mimic someone else. But to find something very personal is a real challenge. But I think that's the way creativity comes about, through this personal search of those who have the courage. You should like that,
Muchas gracias.
Alhamdulillah.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I see the tree and the tree sees me. I'm free. The tree sees me. I see the tree. I'm free. and the roots run deep. And the branches grow tall.